Well, joining us now on This Is the Day is Tighe Campbell, who is the owner and designer of Be a Heart and author of this book I have in my hand, Living the Seasons, which is a full color guide to creatively celebrating the faith throughout the year. Thank you so much for being with us, Erica.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Let's start. Tell us a little bit about the book first and why you decided to put it
Yeah,
together, and maybe talk about how living the seasons can enhance our faith.
yeah, sure. So I'm really excited about the launch of this book. I wrote it with a friend of mine, Augusta, who helped me come up with a lot of the ideas. And we had been sharing on social media simple ways to celebrate the different feasts throughout the year that our church provides for us. And so often, I think on the internet, Catholic internet, it can feel so overwhelming or like an obligation to do things. And if like to be a good Catholic, you have to do all of these crafts and things. And really the church calendar is more an invitation than anything. And it's not something that we have to do other than holy days of obligation, but it really is an invitation to live the seasons of the year. And I found for my own life, it kind of it mirrors our world. It mirrors the seasons, changing seasons around us, and also the different seasons that we go through. Sometimes things are really easy and happy and joyful, and other times we live moments of suffering and grief. And so when we can, when our church teaches us how to live those things, and it isn't something that we need to escape from when we're living through something difficult. It is something that like we can lean into and that God uses. And so the book is really for everyone. So often I think people think that living the season or liturgical living is only for moms with young kids,
Yeah.
but really it's for all of us.
Yeah.
The feast days are not just for children, and there's something for everyone. And so I wanted to create something that lived on people's coffee tables, that was so beautiful that it could be picked up anytime, flip through and set, and you can celebrate the things that speak to you. So some people love St. Francis. A lot of people love St. Francis. That's an easy one to start with. And there are just fun activities that are, from things that can be done with children, things that can be done without children, some things to reflect on. There's a wide range of cooking things, doing crafts, just spending time in nature. And then, for I think we all, the world around us tends to be open to living the seasons of Advent and of Lent and Easter and Christmas. So those are easy ones to begin with, and I think is a big invitation. And we're nearing the end of the year, and so we kind of, as Catholics, the invitation to really fully lean into the Advent season and live it in preparation of Christmas. The Advent season is not Christmas. It's a time of waiting, of anticipation, and we can really lean into that, and then it makes Christmas morning even more beautiful. And then to celebrate not just one day of Christmas, but the full season of Christmas.
Yeah.
There's so much beauty to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, and as an example, maybe if you could, Erica, we of course today is All Saints Day. Maybe if you could let people know what are some ways they can
Yeah.
help celebrate at home, whether it's a craft or a snack or activity or whatever.
Yeah. So All Saints was one of the first things that I had developed around. So I started making party goods because I was originally a calligrapher and I worked a lot in events in Los Angeles. And so I think a lot of parties, and I love throwing events and having people to my home. So I had originally made All Saints Day party goods that have the saints' faces on them, and we sold out so fast. This was back in 2019. And I developed this whole how to celebrate guide. And it was just, at that time I was thinking really of kids. You can see on the internet a lot of kids dressed up as little saints, and is so fun to really look at the lives of the saints and the way that they inspire us. And so one of the things that I think a lot about, our Catholic faith, our Catholic Church, is really not it's so big and beautiful and diverse. And I think that All Saints Day is a time that we can really celebrate that. And so one of the things that I think is really fun for All Saints Day is to look up different foods from the countries where these saints were living,
Oh, yeah.
and to celebrate them by sharing the foods that they ate. So you can, and to really diversify. So getting foods from the classics of France and Italy and Spain, but then also looking in Brazil and El Salvador and all over the world, and how can we celebrate the cultures that they also come from, that they became saints? Because really, at the end of the day, God calls us each individually to be saints, but not to be a saint like the other person,
Yeah.
but to really be saints in who we are and who he calls us individually to be. And so that's a fun celebration. In the book, I have kind of a wild and crazy craft, but it's one of my favorites. I had this idea, if you see in Mexican culture, they have all of the niche shrines, and they're very elaborate.
Sure.
So it's like, what if we create one out of a cardboard box, and then everyone in there, all the kids or parents at an All Saints Day party, they're dressed up like they're the saint, and then they go sit in like a photo booth that's like the niche, and you take a picture and it looks like a statue.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And so that's one of my favorite ones from the book, but it is an elaborate situation, and not all of them are like that.
Yeah.
Another one that I have in the book is a punch needle pillow. So I had this idea as a craft. I had taught myself how to do punch needle, and I was like, ooh, it'd look really cool as the halo around a saint. So you can go on the website and download some of the images of the saints.
Sure.
And then we show how to do a punch needle to make these really beautiful pillows.
That's awesome.
Those are a couple of the big hits from All Saints Day.
That's great. Thank you so much, Erica. We're just unfortunately out of time, but there's so many great ideas and so many crafts and creative things that people can enjoy throughout the year. Where can people get a copy of this, Living the Seasons?
Yeah, so we sell it on our website, beaheart.com, along with a lot of other things. We're also selling, some of the crafts are elaborate, so we started selling the products, we just made them, and people can buy them. But it's also available on Amazon or Ave Maria Press as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Erica, for being with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's go back now to the rest of This Is the Day.